Sports Chat with J and J. Guess who? Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Sports Jab with J and J. I'm Jama.
I'm Jonathan. I'd like to thank you so much for spending some time with us today as we discuss some of the big topics in the world of sports. The game plan today, talk about the NCAA tournament. That's in full swing. Do the moves the Patriots made make them Super Bowl favorites. But first, we continue with our look at each division in baseball leading up to the new season coming up here in just under a month. Last week we talked about the AL West. This week we're going into the NL West. Last year the Dodgers won that division. This year, I don't think it's going to be as fortunate for them. They lost too much, and I think the Giants gained too much. Dodgers last year 92-70, but lost Zach Greinke. That is a huge blow. Also losing Joe Blanton. Have a new manager coming in, Don Mattingly out, Dave Roberts in. Did add Scott Kazmir, but that is not. I mean, Scott Kazmir is good, not as good as Zach Greinke, so they are going to feel that loss there. And then the Giants adding Johnny Cueto, Jeff Samardzija, Denard Span. That is a good good group coming in right there. I mean, they did lose Tim Lincecum, who I ain't really up to last year was a shell of his former self.
Exactly.
Ryan Vogelsong, Mike Leake, who they only had for half season anyway, so that's not going to be too big of a miss for them. Tim Hudson, who was, old, so he wasn't doing a whole lot. I mean, still a reliable pitcher, but he wasn't, he's not going to, go out there and pitch a complete game shutout. But, I mean, so the Giants, I think, favorites this year for the NL West. I mean, the Dodgers, Kershaw's at the top. But I just don't know if they're going to have enough offense to help out, especially the latter part of the rotation. It's nothing special. I mean, the lineup, you have Ken Jock Peterson step up. He had a great first half last year, got into the All-Star game. Second half really fell off. This was nothing like he was the first half. Can he regain that magic again in the first half of last season, keep it for an entire season?
Sure.
Will they get anything out of Yasiel Puig? He's just been this up and down. One point he's good. Next time you hear it, Dodgers want to trade him. He's being a distraction in the clubhouse. Blah, blah, blah. Just a lot going on with him. D-backs made some noise this offseason getting signing Zach Greinke and Sheldon Miller. So they're gonna be good. They're probably gonna be in contention. Do they have enough to compete with the Giants and the Dodgers? I don't know. They do have the Rock, Paul Goldschmidt in the lineup. Perennial MVP candidate. Do they have enough around him to score some offense? I think that they'll be in contention for most of the season. At the end of the day, I think the Giants towards the end of the season start to pull away and really dominate themselves. Put themselves in down position for the division. Padres, they're still trying to find themselves. Added Alexi Ramirez, Fernando Rodney, got a new manager in there. But they did lose Justin Upton, Craig Kimbrell. Those are big losses, and they weren't that good last year, so they didn't do enough this year to really make themselves any better. And then Rockies, they're in a rebuilding mode. There's no way around that. They have Carlos Gonzalez, who is a great player. He can put up 40 homers, with the best of them, but they just don't have that much around them. They have a lot of young talent. They just have to continue to develop and mold them before they're ready to come up in the majors and make that impact that they need in order to see themselves as contender. But Giants, 2010, world champions. 2012, world champions. 2014, world champions. 2016, world champions. Continue that every year streak that's been going on. I think that they can make a run at it. Honestly, they're my pick coming out of the West. Do they have enough to compete with, say the Mets, who have that fantastic pitching staff? The Cubs, who have a lot of hype going around them, and even the Cardinals. The Cardinals always just seem to be there, regardless of how much they lose. So, do the Giants? The Giants will compete. I think they'll make it to the playoffs coming out of this division on top. I think Dodgers, Giants, D-backs, Padres, Rockies. So basically the same order last year. Just flip around the Dodgers and the Rockies, or Dodgers and the Giants. That's who I think is how the division's gonna play out this year.
I feel like the Giants are probably the favorite for this division just because they have Bumgarner and then they have the best 1-2 pitching probably in their
in the division. They're the top three.
Yeah, easy.
Yeah, Bumgarner, Cueto, and Smarja, and that is at Pitcher's Park. So that's really going to work to their benefit.
And I feel like the void that the Dodgers are going to run into is they're going to play against is can someone help out Clayton Kershaw? When he's at the mound, he's a stud and he's a beast. He's probably going to limit runs, but when it's not his game to pitch, when they have to bring someone else to the mound, how is the rest of them going to react to that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he has a lot of pressure on him this year.
And can the pitching staff they have after him do enough to keep them in the games? Can the offense do enough to keep them in games really? So, yeah, Kershaw. I mean, you're going to be contending every game he pitches.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Scott Kazmir, he's good. He's not to the level of Zach Greinke was last year, so that is going to be a big drop off. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they are able to manage that. You have the Giants come out of that division as well. I don't see much competition there. So yeah, the Giants will I think they'll compete for a championship. And speaking of competing for a championship, Patriots, they made a big splash this past week.
Not the first week.
Yeah,
though.
First week pretty quiet.
Quiet.
Yeah, the second week though they really ramped up, getting Martellus Bennett, signing running back Donald Brown, defensive end Chris Long, linebacker Shane McClellan, and trading Chandler Jones to the Cardinals for guard Jonathan Cooper. So even strengthen that offensive line some. I mean, last year one of the biggest things was running game. They didn't have too much of a running game. Obviously, so this year Donald Brown. I mean, he's not going to be the answer by himself.
It's going to be a split carries if the old LeGarrette Blount can show up. That was there a few years ago.
Blount and Lewis, who got hurt last year. I mean, he was doing well, but the injury just ruined the rest of the season. So, and really, can Blount kind of reestablish himself as the old Garrett Blount. And Belichick, he always just seems to have a ton of running backs at his disposal. I mean, none of them are going to be that number one back, but he just is able to work all of them in, so they all contribute and they all do fairly well. So it'll be interesting to see that. But I mean, their offense now. I mean, Martellus Bennett will go along with Gronk. He left Edelman and Amendola there, and then obviously Tom Brady still under center. That is a powerful offense. They did upgrade their defense some. Get Shea McClellan and Chris Long in there. And their defense last year wasn't great, but it was
held
steady.
Defenses if Brady put up enough points.
Yeah, I mean it was steady. They just have to have the whole bend but don't break mentality. If you let field goals and maybe touchdown now and then. With that offense, you're going to more than make up for that. So their defense just has to do a little bit, and the upgrades they made, I think that's really going to help them. And I don't know who else in that conference is really going to compete with them.
So with that, we have Colts. They were supposed to be big last year. Gore bust. Andrew Luck was hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Andre Johnson was a shell of what he was in Houston.
Also didn't have any quarterbacks throwing it to him since Luck was out.
Luck was hurt.
And Texans this year maybe, adding Brock Osweiler, can that be enough to get their offense up to par with that defense to mean they can make a run? The Chiefs, they were good last year.
The Chiefs would probably be the most legitimate pick, I would say, that could maybe realistically rival the Pats.
Especially since their defense is now weaker with the Broncos taking that big step back.
And we're sorry, we know what we're hating on. We're not hating on you Bronco fans like we did Cleveland, but
you will admit that, losing Peyton Manning, that is going to be a big step back. So they're not going to be that same team you were last year. So I think the Chiefs, that weaker division, maybe they can. I mean,
I wouldn't be surprised if the Chiefs won the AFC West.
No, I mean, it is a little weaker, but, the Raiders, they are making some noise. Can they finally just start, getting that young talent going to, Derek Carr under center? Can he continue to progress? Can Amari Cooper continue to, go up, build off his rookie season? So I'm going to be interesting to see what the Raiders are able to do. I think that they're not going to be that same, 6-10, 5-11 team. I think that they will actually be competitive this year, but obviously, they're not going to be up to the level of, making a run at the Patriots. The Bengals, they're always good in the regular season. Can they do well enough this year. They were in competition for that number 1 seed last year until the end, and the Patriots and Broncos pulled out from underneath them. Now, they won't do anything in the playoffs because they never seem to.
No.
But can they do enough to at least get that number 1 seed in the AFC? And could they make it the year that they actually win a playoff game? I mean,
probably not. I'm sorry.
And I think if they don't, Marvin Lewis might be.
Yeah, he's in the hot seat this year. He's got to be.
With that talent, you have to win a playoff game.
AJ Green,
Andy Dalton.
You have
to. They've been in the playoffs so many times with Marvin Lewis, but they haven't won anything. The Steelers, can they? They always seem to be in competition. Obviously Roethlisberger, 2-time Super Bowl winning quarterback. You have Antonio Brown. You have Le'Veon Bell coming back. So can they do enough? Obviously their defense has been a little suspect, the past couple of years.
Right. Yeah.
So can they do enough to compete? Because the Patriots in the division, I don't see anyone in that division competing with them.
No.
The Jets still don't have a quarterback, and then Fitzpatrick can't seem to work out.
Apparently thinks he should get paid like a high-priced QB, and
he probably wants a deal similar to Osweiler. Fitzpatrick has done more, but
he's done
Osweiler
more,
got paid, pretty well.
But the thing that Fitzpatrick is running into is, you take away Brandon Marshall from that team and Eric Decker, would the Jets have won as many games as they won this year? With Fitzpatrick
you can say that about any quarterback. Really, take away their top 2 targets. Are they going to be the same team? No. The Patriots, you take away Gronk and Edelman, are they going to win as many games? Probably not. So you can say that a lot about quarterbacks. The quarterbacks do need someone to throw it to.
Those still would have Tom Brady under center, a Hall of Fame.
Oh yeah, they would still be good. But if you take Gronk and Edelman out, they're not going to be as good.
But they'd have Martellus Bennett now, though.
Well, now they would, yeah.
Now they would. Yeah, I was talking about right now.
Yeah. So that would like I said, it'd still be good. But if you took away those 2, they're not going to be as dominant as they probably are going to be. With the weapons they have right now. So I just don't see anyone in the AFC really.
No.
Besides the Chiefs, I think the Chiefs could maybe
legitimately they could realistically make a run.
I still think that the AFC is going to go through Foxborough this year.
Yes, the Patriots. I'm sorry, I'm saying this. I can't believe I am, but I think the Patriots are going to go back in the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
I'd be shocked if they got knocked out in the playoffs. I'm just saying, and if they didn't win their division.
I think Tom Brady will be able to shoot for ring number 5 and really even, separate himself from Joe Montana then.
Montana and
Bradshaw. It'll be, like I said, I think it's going to be, like I said, as much like you, as much as I don't want to, say it, I do think it's going to be the Patriots.
They're just going to be that good.
You'll like see someone different come out of there, but I don't see it. I honestly don't. But, hopefully someone else does. It'd be nice to see the Chiefs maybe get in there. Maybe get Alex Smith and Andy Reid in the Super Bowl.
I'd like to see them go, but I just don't know who's going to... defenses are going to run into the issue with Martellus Bennett now. They're probably going to do some split tight end sets now like they used to.
Yeah.
And they have Hernandez.
And then if they can just get some sort of running game, then the defenses have to, account for the run too. They can't just, bring a bunch of, cornerbacks in there and, defend the pass. So, it's going to be tough for defense to think, all right, are we going to try to go for the run or try to go for the pass? Because, it's...
Who do you guard in the red zone now? Gronk or Martellus Bennett or Julian Edelman?
So...
Pick your poison.
Yeah, the defenses have their work cut out from when they face the Patriots. But, like I said, Patriots, I think, are gonna compete for that championship.
Without a doubt.
Once again, going off championships. NCAA tournament in full swing, and it has been an exciting first few days. Upsets galore so far in the tournament.
Unreal.
Highlighted by number 15, Middle Tennessee, over number 2, Michigan State. And it wasn't even that close of a game.
Well, they were never in any trouble or they were trailing the game. They just...
Number 2, Michigan State, Tom Izzo, been there so many times. You would... I don't think anyone saw that upset coming.
I had Michigan State in the Final Four in my bracket.
Me too. I thought they were going to put a lot better showing than they did. That was surprising.
That's a tough pill to swallow.
Oh, yeah. And then next up, you got number 13, Hawaii, over number 4, Cal. I don't think that one is as big of an upset since the night before, news came out that Cal's best player is going to be out. So I think that kind of shifted everyone's thought to, Hawaii has a legitimate shot at winning this game. So I mean that's who I picked to win. Once I heard the news that Cal's players out, I went and changed my bracket to have Hawaii come out of that. So I don't think that one's as big of a shocker. Number 11 Wichita State Shockers over number 6 Arizona. Not that big of a surprise, I don't think either. Wichita State, they still have a lot of seniors from that Final Four when they made 4 years ago.
Exactly.
So and that wasn't as surprising.
Yeah, it wasn't that big of a deal. I mean, I saw that and I was like, oh, okay, that's kind of saw it coming, but I didn't put it on my bracket, so it sucks.
I got that one in my bracket too, but a couple of ones I didn't. You always have those 12-5 upsets. It's going to happen every year.
At least once.
And this year we got 2 of them. Number 12, Yale over number 5, Baylor. And number 12, Arkansas Little Rock over number 5, Purdue. I think I'm more surprised with Yale getting their first tournament win ever. And then just really, dominating Baylor. They out-rebounded them.
That's something that Baylor normally is predicated on, is crashing the boards. They're usually top in the country on rebounds and block shots, and they got out-rebounded for some odd reason.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't believe what I was watching.
I did love the players' response, though, after the game, and that's how they get, out-rebounded. He's like, well, you know how you go up and grab a ball.
Yeah.
That's how they got out-rebounded. I love that response. And then you got number 11, Northern Iowa against number 5, Texas, and that game was so thrilling. It's the way it ends with a
Wish I wouldn't have missed that game. I heard it was by a buzzer beater.
Half-court
I'd love to see a
with
buzzer
2 seconds
beater live.
left. Tie game 72. Northern Iowa inbounds it. Heaves it, goes in. And that's March Madness right there. That's the epitome of it.
That's the definition.
Half-court
Buzzer
heave.
beaters.
That was fantastic.
That's what it's all about.
A little bit lesser of a upset. Number 10 VCU over number 7 Oregon State.
I picked VCU in that game.
Now, I mean, I didn't pick VCU, but I wasn't really surprised that they won. For me, that was kind of...
They always collect damages when they get to the big dance. They always go at least 1 or 2 rounds, except that one year when they had Shaka Smart. I believe they went to the Elite 8 or Final Four. They made some very, very deep run. That was when they had a great team, but so I mean, VCU's in the tournament. They're probably going to... They're going to collect damages. I mean, Shaka Smart's not there anymore with Texas, but still, they're still a well-coached team at VCU.
A couple other lesser upsets. Number 11 Gonzaga over Seton Hall. I think in the regular season Gonzaga would have been favored just because they have the lower seed here. That's as an upset, which I don't think necessarily was. And same with number 10 Syracuse over number 7 Dayton. I think Syracuse is more of a dominant team than Dayton. So just because of seeding is what makes that an upset, which I don't necessarily think it is. But then another big upset, number 14, Stephen F. Austin over number 3, West Virginia. Not many people, I don't think, called that in their bracket. So that was...
I had West Virginia in the Elite 8.
I had him in the Sweet 16. I did not have him in the Elite 8, I don't believe so.
There's a guy in the bracket that I'm doing at my place, and he had Stephen F. Austin. He had Stephen F. Austin in, I think the Final Four or Elite 8. That's big. That's a gutsy pick.
That is dreaming big. Wow. At 1 round, sure, I can, maybe see calling that upset, but Elite 8, oof.
He's reaching for the stars.
Well, I guess if he gets that right, then he's going to look like a genius. So
he's going to look like a stud. Exactly.
Yeah. And then second round, you have number 11 Gonzaga defeating number 3 Utah. So, that was a decent upset.
Gonzaga, though, they're a great team.
Once they get in there, they'll do some damage. But, like I said, my bracket's in pretty decent shape right now. I did lose my one Final Four team with Michigan State, but I still have Kansas, Duke, and UNC in there. And I have Kansas, UNC in my final with UNC beating Kansas for the championship.
Okay, now guys, see, I have a UNC jersey on, but I picked Kansas to win just because I don't believe in. I am a Tar Heel fan since 5, so I bleed powder blue, but I don't pick my team to win the title because I don't want to jinx them. So I'd rather jinx somebody else's team. So I have the Jayhawks to win it all, and I have the Tar Heels in the championship game. So that way they're not jinxed.
I get not wanting to jinx your team. Obviously, I don't believe that you picking the Kansas Jayhawks are going to jinx the Jayhawks. But I get not picking your team. I probably wouldn't do that either with my team. I wouldn't pick them to win the championship. But I get it. I'm eager to see how the rest of this turn plays out. And do you see any more upsets possibly coming?
Only big, I guess. Only huge upsets I could see if they go the long distance would probably be the Zags, maybe. Just because they were quietly winning games this year. I think they won their conference to get in, and
Do you think Syracuse could make a run? I mean, Michigan State's out of their region now, so I mean,
I will say yes, Syracuse for sure would be another team because everybody. Let's be frank, they were a bubble team. They were like a 17-10
a lot of people didn't think that they should have been in there.
They shouldn't have been in, but Syracuse has a thing going from they have Jim Boeheim.
That's true. He's been there many times.
He's not going to get rattled. He's going to try to show his players as best he can to prepare them for wherever they play. So I wouldn't be shocked, I guess, if Syracuse made a deep run just because of the nostalgia of their coach. He's won national titles. He's used to being. He knows what it's like sometimes to be an underdog. So
yeah.
I would probably put my biggest amount on Syracuse, I guess, right now. So yeah.
Yeah, Syracuse, and I think Gonzaga can make a run at it and do some damage. I mean, Stephen F. Austin, I don't think they're going to go any further. Arkansas Little Rock, no, I don't see. Yale already gone.
They took Duke tough though.
They
played
did.
Duke tough yesterday.
Wichita State gone. Hawaii. So I've heard some people maybe think that they could even make it to at least the Sweet 16.
I've heard
not
a lot
of past that, but
I've heard few people and stuff talking about the Rainbow Warriors. Yeah.
So yeah, they could maybe Sweet 16. I don't know about.
I'd say the Sweet 16 would be the most they could go, but I mean after the Elite Eight in that area, they'd probably get stuck playing a pretty high seed and quality team, and
you don't see Middle Tennessee making a run at the championship.
No, probably not. The last.
I think beating Michigan State, that was their championship. I mean
the last high seed to make the Final Four, I believe, was George Mason the year when Florida had Joakim Noah and all those guys, Al Horford. But I don't see it right now. I mean. If I could say it, I guess Syracuse might be the only team that could legitimately make it.
Yeah, no, obviously I want my bracket to play out the rest of the way as I have it, but it is always exciting to see those high seeds make that run towards the Final Four.
They just make some of them, and that's a big thing people don't get, I guess. They wonder why we're getting these upsets. Well, there's so much parity this year for one, but then you have the schools from the like the bigger schools, like the Carolinas and the Kansas and, Kentucky's. And some of those schools, are one and dones. And you have these smaller schools like Yale and Stephen F. Austin. And, the players stay there for 4 years. So these guys are pretty much like grown men by the time they make it out. And they're seniors. And
I mean, it makes a difference. I mean, this one and dones. They have all the talent in the world, and they're probably going to be in the first round, picks in the NBA.
Exactly.
But I mean, you do have to manage their egos as far as because they all want to they
all want that NBA money.
Yeah, they want to be the top dog on the team. Where you have these schools like Wichita, Wichita State, Yale, where you have these people that have been playing together for 4 years. They know how to work with each other. No one on there can have a huge ego. I mean, they know they're not going to the NBA. Exactly. They just want to do what they can to win. So they're going to be, more of it, they're going to have that more team dynamic, than those, bigger schools. So that does make it so, yeah, they can, upset these schools. And that's what makes March Madness exciting is getting those, big upsets, seeing those, number 2s go down, those number 4s go down. That's what makes it exciting.
You look at the Michigan State game. I mean, Michigan State, that game was never in doubt that Middle Tennessee was going to lose. I mean, and again, that's what we're talking about with, these are probably juniors and seniors on this Middle Tennessee team, and these players from Michigan State, some of them are younger, and they probably got a little rattled and nervous, and you have these older teams,
I mean, like Middle Tennessee, they're playing with house money anyways. No one's expecting them to do anything, so they're going in there relaxed. Michigan State, they have expectations on them, so they're going to feel that more pressure.
Yep.
So, I mean, yeah, these teams like Well, they had nothing to lose. If they got knocked out in the first round, everyone's like, "Oh, we expect
Exactly.
that. Congratulations, making it to the tournament."
Exactly.
So yeah, they didn't have much pressure. So yeah, that's why they call it March Madness. Anything can happen. We would love to hear from you guys. What do you think as far as March Madness goes so far? Do you see any more upsets possibly coming? Are the Patriots favored to win the AFC? We would love to hear from you if you think they have any challengers. And who do you think is going to come out of the NL West? We both had the Giants. Agree or disagree, would love to hear from you. Like our video, subscribe to our page. It's again Sports Jabber. I'm Jonathan.
I'm John, guys, and be sure if you have any comments whatsoever, we'd love to answer questions on the show. Just comment in the comment box below. Have a great night, guys.